Oh, let me fix my necklace. Alright, so I'm gonna cut to the chase here. If you guys know one thing about me, you probably don't know anything, but I will say that my culture is very important to me. My heritage is very important to me. I've been growing and changing in so many ways, but there's one thing that shall remain the same, and that is that I may not be able to look at myself in the mirror and feel disgusted, but at least it has nothing to do with my skin color. Everything to do with just low self-esteem. And I aspire to show people that, and I hope that people think that I'm like that, and I hope that people think like that for themselves. Always be proud of where you came from. Be proud of your skin color. Be proud of your heritage, your ethnicity, your culture, your language, the music, everything, the art, the history, love it all. So, on that note, today's album of the day is Here I Am by Marvin Sapp. And listen, man, I'm not a Christian, okay? I'm not a Christian. I never claim to be. I am definitely deeply spiritual. I believe in, ghosts and shit. I believe in magic. I think astrology is pretty cool. I'm not like that kind of person that goes and thinks, I can't date a Virgo or whatever, Virgo, whatever the fuck, I don't know. Like, I can't date a Virgo. I can't do that. Like, I'm not that kind of person. I just think it's fairly interesting how those things work and how, we have been able to find patterns and make them more interesting and accessible. Because you can't not just have a little fun in your life. So how does that relate to this album? Out of all the bombastic and epic gospel albums of this time period, the early 2000s, early 2010s, there was definitely a distinct era where this like absolutely uplifting, chemically revitalizing epic gospel was a thing. They had some hip hop in it. They had some good old choir in the background and the most beautiful, soulful singing. And you might be wondering, how does this relate to me? I'm black. I'm black. I shouldn't have to explain myself on that part. Marvin Sapp is important to me because, again, I'm not Christian. But I find that the way that he delivers the message that he is trying to pursue is beautiful. It really is. I love his lush arrangements, and I love listening to like a gospel choir. When you who the hell? Oh, sorry, someone sent me a friend request on Facebook. When you grow up around like gospel and like that kind of music, you really do have a soft spot. Despite like me not really agreeing with everything I've read in the Bible in my times of reading it, or not necessarily like being anti-religious, because I'm not anti-religious, but just knowing that there are these faults here and there has made it difficult for a lot of people to get into this kind of music or even like listen to anything that has like Christian on it. For example, me, when I found out about Mineral, how they incorporate Christian lyrics into their emo songs, and I didn't want to listen to it because it said Christian on it, and I thought that meant, it's gonna be like Creed. It's just gonna be like Creed, but no. And that's how I feel about this and music like this. I feel like I tried to push it away because I thought that the messaging was just going to get in the way of the fun, but it didn't. And I, as a black person, you got to know your roots, you got to know, like a lot of the way that we live is rooted in the church, and a lot of it's rooted in baptism and Negro spirituals and things like that. A lot of the way that we live, a lot of our history is deeply rooted in that. And you have to acknowledge it to, truly be comfortable in your black skin. And I like to all my beautiful black brothers and beautiful black sisters, siblings, aunties, uncles, whatever you may be, all my beautiful African American cousins, and all y'all from the homeland too. Uh, Listen to music like this. Don't listen to music like this because you want to prove to everyone, oh, look, guys, look how Christian I am. Like, I'm just, I know the answers to everything. But listen to it because you know that this is important. I'm not going to get into any of the tracks, man. I'm not going to do all that today because I'm going to go on a little ramble. Like, again, like, I'm a deeply spiritual person. I believe in, like, angel numbers. I believe in ghosts. I believe in spirits and souls and all that kind of stuff, and magic, voodoo. Like, I believe in all that kind of shit, you know? And for a lot of people, for Christians, for example, they do have their own beliefs just like I do. I would never cross that path and sit here like, oh, well, my take on life is far more superior than yours. You guys are clearly living in a archaic ideology. I'm not going to think like that because not every Christian is the same. A lot of my coworkers at my second job are Christian, and they have honestly been very enlightening in the way of like learning how people view religion and how it, like, my personal thought on it has honestly been missing the point. I've always thought growing up that like Christians were going to be like those people that, try to get you to do shit and like held that moral high ground, and like you don't know what a moral compass is, because I grew up seeing those like Instagram or like YouTube like debates where they would debate about like atheism and shit. So I grew up on that shit, so I believed that like, they were going to be like that too when they interacted with me. So I always had a chip on my shoulder whenever I was interacting with them. This might sound familiar to you. When a brother walks up to another brother and they look at each other, more often than not, I feel like we feel like one of us is either more or less black than the other, just based off of how they might carry themselves or how you might carry yourself sometimes. And I acknowledge that there really is like a deep rooted like racist thought process that we have been trained to have throughout American history. But we as people besides our skin color, we can get over, we can uplift each other. And that's what I found beautiful about this album. I may not be the biggest fan of Christianity in the terms of music, because I always find a lot of Christian pop and a lot of like contemporary Christian music tends to be very, okay, I can tell you're just saying shit to like say shit. Like, come on, man, you're not even like giving me any like, it's just background music, But I really do feel like albums like this, like these epics that are long epics, really do feel like there's something more, and I aspire to like view this kind of thing in a lighter sense, because I do still acknowledge I have a chip on my shoulder when it comes to most like religion and like people trying to talk to me about their religion, and I don't like that because it's like instinctual, like I don't even really want to think like that, and yet I do. And I find that, some people have that thought process about things that I believe in. Some people might look at me and think, you like astrology? What's wrong with you? Like, I couldn't tell you like all these like all the intricacies about it, but I find it very intriguing whenever I've been talked to about it. But someone else might look at that and think, oh, that's just for white girls. That's just cringe. But I mean, somebody might think that about something that you believe in. And I really don't like that. Instinctually, I look at people based off of their beliefs sometimes, instead of like how they portray their beliefs and how they let their beliefs live on their skin. Because I mean, just think about this. There's billions of bacteria living on your skin. You can't control how they live, but you can control how you carry your beliefs on your skin. For example, I believe in the concept of like, I'm not gonna do anything I don't believe in. You know, I'm not gonna do something and be like, well, I mean, this person gets a pass or I get a pass just this time. I don't believe in that because that's not right to me. Like, I don't believe in hypocrisy. I don't think that's okay. And like I will always stand up for what I think is right, and it's lost me a job once, but it is what it is, you know. When your boss is a pedophile, there's only so much that you can do to the point where like you're low key like teetering on like getting him in prison, and then losing your job for speaking out. But as I'm saying, like there's like I'm not gonna do something I don't believe in. I stand up for my beliefs because I hold them very core to myself. And I think that because I think that way, uh some beliefs that I have I don't even really think about and think, maybe I shouldn't have that belief. Maybe I shouldn't think like that. I mean, especially with religion. I really do feel like for a lot of my life I pretended to acknowledge it and ignored it at the same time. And because I know it can be beautiful for a lot of people and that, you know, it's helped a lot of people. But I'm willing to accept this, that there are people that use it for bad. And unfortunately, those are the people that are speaking the loudest. I mean, don't get me started on Mormonism. That fucking cult, like it genuinely is a cult. It's horrifying, and I live around it. And it's scary how they like actually will make you feel like shit for not being Mormon. It's insane. But again, I aspire to be like the way this album portrayed Christianity, but not in the sense that I'm Christian, but in the sense that like I have core views and core values that I wish to live on my skin the way the bacteria does, in a way where I can't control, but in a way where I can process. I don't know if anything I've said made sense. Too long didn't read. Don't be racist. The gospel is deeply rooted in black culture, and you should appreciate that. Even if you are not Christian, you should at least acknowledge our history. Yeah. This rant was long as hell.